First time in 31 years. The Australian Wallabies lost to France in Australia. This was close, but wasn't good enough, man. Wasn't good enough. France really actually stepped up this game quite a lot, and the Wallabies won. The Wallabies coach Dave Rennie said he wanted to see a lift from the team. Quite the opposite. The Wallabies had really poor execution at the breakdown. They had really poor execution at the lineouts in the second half. The scrums were struggling a bit when Tupou went off. And poor tackling. Again, bit of improvement, but still not great. Poor discipline mostly. And I don't know. What can I say? The French, when they ran the ball, they were able to create a lot of space. And also able to get over the advantage line. So the Wallabies tackling, the dominant tackles were just not there. So the France were able to just gain a lot of meters with just basic pick and run and one-off shot balls, quick balls. And the Wallabies were not able to just defend that effectively. And that was, I thought the Wallabies were lucky to even get close. The French team looked like they could have just closed it off quite comfortably in the second half. But some individual performances was quite good for the Wallabies that really pulled off a bigger potential, to really close off the gap a little bit. Corin Betty played quite well this game, I would say. He didn't miss as much tackles. I checked the stats. He had played pretty much out of his mind in the first half with 2 really strong carries. And he's just, really, really good running. He got denied 2 tries. That was a little bit disappointing for his part. Still no tries this season for the Wallabies. And, let's have a look at the stats. So, Wallabies vs France. 2 tries for the Wallabies to 1 on the France. 599 run meters to 346. So, the Wallabies were actually more opportunity to score, but just discipline. Like, so many times the Wallabies got to striking range to about within the 22 of French. Loses ball the breakdown. Gets turned over breakdown. Penalty at the breakdown. Or they lose the other lineouts. Really, really disappointing. Really poor execution in the set pieces. Despite all the hard work and all the opportunity that they were presented. 161 carries to 98. 26 defenders beaten to 13. So the French defense weren't particularly amazing in that sense. 6 clean breaks to 4. Turnovers conceded 12 to the Wallabies. To the France 6. The breakdown is a big issue here. 122 tackles made for the Wallabies. 13 missed tackles. 220 away for the French team. 26 missed tackles. Statistically speaking, this tackle rate is not bad. Much better than last week for the Wallabies. But still a few really soft misses around the... that has led to France being able to run 60, 70 meters a number of times. Turnovers 8. Jesus, that's so many for the French team. Kicking has been spotless for both sides. The breakdown, rucks won 139 to 80. 7 rucks lost for the Wallabies to 3. Rucks this way, 3 to 2. Set plays, 7 lineouts. 3 lineouts lost for the Wallabies. That is preposterously bad, especially when some of these lineouts were inside, within about 10 meters of the attacking opportunities. And also, just because they lost 3 lineouts, just because some of the lineouts they didn't lose, doesn't mean the execution afterwards was good either. So there was a maul that was pushed out that should have been considered a lineout loss, but that's not going to consider in the stats here. France not that much better. 6 lineouts, 2 losses. 1 scrum loss for the Wallabies in the second half. Pretty painful there. There was 1 scrum penalty against the French in the second half. That doesn't count as French scrum loss, but there was a penalty where Wallabies were able to get some points. 12 penalties considered for both teams. Yeah, Dave Rennie is going to be pretty unhappy. Hopefully to see some shuffling in the team after this. Let's have a look at some of the stats. Defending, we're looking at missed tackles. Pretty good for Corin Betty this week. No missed tackles, so you don't have to make one tackle. Tuamura, 3 tackles, 1 misses. Much better than last week, I guess. Oh, actually, maybe the same. James Slipper, 4 missed tackles. 9 out of 9. So he has a high work rate, I guess, but still, 4 missed tackles out of 9. Pangamosa, 11 tackles, 3 misses. So these are the 2 culprits that missed most of the tackles this game. For the Wallaby side, everybody else is pretty good. Look at this guy. Salakai Loto, absolute god. 16 tackles, 0 misses. Valentini, 13, 0 misses. Hooper, 12, 0 misses. Wilson, 14, 1 miss. Like, these are, like, Superman numbers. And they still don't miss tackles. That is, like, spectacular numbers. And, yeah. Let's go through the details in the game. I'm trying to make this videos a bit shorter. And let's go. Right from the start, 2 minutes in, the Wallabies were like in a bit of defensive position. And literally about just over 60 seconds, Paisami runs into Diallo, the number 6 on the French side. Instantly get turned over by the French team for penalty for holding on. He gets caught in the breakdown. 3 points in for France. 1 minute in. Jaminet, his kicking has been absolutely spectacular this game. No matter where it is, he managed to land the kick. There was 7 penalty kicks and 1 conversion, all landed perfectly by Jaminet. He's absolutely spectacular, this guy. And this was a pretty difficult kick. This was just inside the 50-meter line and on a bit of an angle as well. So a really, really long kick as well. And he managed to get it quite sweetly in through between the goalposts. 6 minutes in, there was a really beautiful play from the Wallabies. Tuamura, there was a quick ball to the wing to Tuamura. He runs down the wing, inside ball to Corin Betty. Corin Betty gets the ball from Tuamura. Instead of running straight, he cuts back further in field, and he ran this really beautiful angle. He ran past about 3 players, ran in under the sticks, try time. Everybody's celebrating. TMO calls the referee. There was a high ball that happened before this where, what's his name? Tom Wright, he misjudged the ball. The ball bounced on the ground. So he tried to catch the ball as the ball's bouncing up, and the ball kind of like went between his arm and up, and the referee called that knock on. Despite the fact that he went backwards, the referee called that knock on. So, yeah, that was really unlucky. Probably, yeah, 50-50 there, I think. But yeah, knock on and try deny for Corin Betty. The crowd was going wild. This was in Melbourne, so a lot of Melbourne Rebels fans there. So the crowd was going absolutely bananas when this try was scored. No try. Everybody was booing. At 8 minutes in, there was a huge hard running by the French team with some really, really good rock speed. They got inside the Wallabies half, just inside the 40-meter line. A penalty for offside against the Wallabies. 40 meters out, France says, yep, we'll take it. Jaminet slots the goal. 9 minutes in, the France up 6 points to 0. And then after that, the breakdown got even worse. There was about 10 minutes into the game, there was already 3 breakdown penalties against the Wallabies. Just no one is securing the ball there. Really, really poor. There was a really good run by the Wallabies, a really high speed, but they get turned over once again at the breakdown. And then, so finally, the Wallabies were able to get in the front foot again. They let me see, yeah. Finally, in the front foot, they're putting a bit of pressure on the France team, getting about 5 meters out. Their ball kind of pops out. The Wallabies had a full-on advantage right in front of the goalpost. The Matt Tuamura thought will spin the ball. He gets the ball. I think it was Lolosio actually. Gets the ball. So a massive cutout pass to Corin Betty in the wind. He runs up. He jumps up in the air. Slams the ball down into the corner. Looked like a beautiful Superman try. Referee blows the whistle. Says it was a forward pass from, I think it was not from not from Lolosio. It's actually Lolosio to Tomura. Tomura throws a big cutout, and that the loser, he said that was forward pass. On TV, it did not look like a loose pass at all. But the referee was on the field, so he made a decision on the field. That was a forward pass. Really unlucky. 2 denied tries for Corumbeti already. Less than 15 minutes into the game. The Wallabies goes, enough is enough. We will take the 3. Kicks the goal right in front. Lolosio has been pretty good today as well. No missed kicks. 100%. It was really, really good to see. Gets this one. Yeah, so that was really, really unlucky. 21 minutes into the game, there was another break. There was another turnover on the breakdown. So basically, okay, so there was another, 21 minutes in, France gets their first try, okay? So what happened was, Tom Banks had a good run, and then he gets turned over by Wookie, and then the ball was spread out. No. What happened was here. Let me see. Yeah, so he gets turned over. They spread the ball out wide to number 12 on the France on the counterattack. Number 12 on France. Vincent gets the ball. He passes to Penold. Penold runs up. He passes to Wookie. Wookie makes a nice little break. And he offloads back inside to number 14 for the French team. Penold. And he runs in for the try. And this was, again, just really poor on the breakdown. Gets turned over. Matt Phillip was running, like, comically chasing. He wasn't really getting anywhere. It looked quite funny. He was swinging his arm wildly, like huge strides, but he was just like way too slow for everybody to catch up to anyone. He looked like he was completely gassed. He was actually really like a cartoon character the way he was running. France gets their first try, 21 minutes in. Wallabies strikes back literally a minute later with a penalty. So there was the kickoff goes out. One of the French players goes up to catch his ball. He misses the ball, but he touches the ball as he landed on the ground. So the ball like bounces forward. One of the French players was in the offside position. He jumps on the ball. In fact, it was Wookie again. Wookie played like an absolute god this game, by the way. He's everywhere. He's stealing lineouts. He's turning over balls. He's just like Superman effort by Wookie. He seals the ball in an offside position, so that was penalty right from the kickoff. Wallabies take the 3 back on the board. And then there was the Wallabies after that were able to build more pressure against the French team. There was a penalty for offside. The Wallabies were running the ball. They went a kick there for a line out. There was a lot of running by the Wallabies. Valentini gets the ball. He runs in and gets smashed by the French number 6. I have never seen Valentini get smashed. He got absolutely drilled, put back on his ass. I've never seen that big fella get smashed. However, there was a penalty for offside for French team. Wallaby once again went for a line out. Set the line out up for more. They got really, really close. It collapsed and got really, really close. And then they get the ball back out. There was lots of faces. Eventually, they got about 7 or 8 faces later. They got really close again, about a meter from Lanau. Tenel Tupou gets onto the breakdown. He looked like he's gonna pick and go, and there was like a lot of people in the open side. So he looks up. He looks like he's gonna pass the ball to the open side, and then Jake Gordon, the actual halfback, runs off to the blind side and calls it. Tupou turns around, throws the ball to the halfback who's supposed to be at the breakdown. He catches the ball. The French kind of got caught off guard. What's his name? Peno was trying to sweep her out to try to get to catch him, but Peno wasn't enough. There was a lot of open space for Jake Gordon to work with. Goes in for Wallabies' first try at just before halftime, and Lolosio converts this one. Halftime score 13 points to 16. France lead by 3 with 3 penalties and a try to Wallabies, 2 penalties to 1 try as well. Now, second half, the French attack was really, really, really good. They were able to put a lot of pressure right away against the Wallabies. They were able to get to 5 meters in the 5 meters, get all the way into the 5 meter line. And then eventually the Wallabies were able to turn the ball over. This is the one time where Wallabies did able to secure a turnover in a dangerous zone without giving it a penalty, which was done by Michael Hooper. In the 46th minute, the Wallabies attack with was receiving a penalty for attack. They kicked the ball out for a 5 meter line out. And then the attack builds on with a lot of pressure. Eventually, France were just penalized again, but Wallabies weren't able to get through, but they were in a good position to kick a penalty. So at 46th minute, Wallabies kicks another 3-point, catches up to level the score. On the 49 minutes, 49 minutes. Yeah, the Tupou, I think he might be Tupou. I think he might be Alatoa, because I think Tupou is off the field, but the Wallabies had a scrum. They were penalized for boring in. And this was just inside the Wallabies 40. France gets the ball. Jaminet goes, yep, I like kicking. Slots the ball perfectly once again. The 49th minute, another 3 points. France pulls back again, 3 points. On the 53rd minute, there was a high ball to... Wallaby did a really poor kick, high ball, inside the French half. This was super, super dumb. Just like a high ball. They're already inside the 40. The high ball just went outside, landed just outside the French 22. Jaminet runs in, jumps up, catches the ball, and finds himself a gap. There was, like, the defense line was in disarray for Wallabies. He makes a nice break. He runs about a few meters. He offloads to, what's his name? Yeah, he offloads to one of his teammates. And then eventually there was a couple offloads by the French team. They actually got really close to score a try hit. Like, they linked up really, really well. They actually got really close. Eventually, I think it was, Carbonell. Yeah, he lost Carbonell. Eventually, Carbonell got really close. As he's getting tackled by Michael Hooper, he gets disoriented. He couldn't offload. He had to play out wide. That was wide open to score the try. But he kind of got disoriented, spun around, and he didn't able to get he didn't see anyone. He wasn't able to get the ball free. So he gets tackled, and there was a penalty against the Wallabies again for that. They pile on a ton of pressure at this point. And they took a quick tap instead of 3 points. They took a quick tap to try to score a try here because they were really, really close with a lot of momentum, the French team. So they ran around. They almost got in. Eventually, the one of the big fella from the French team. Let me just get his name correctly here. Taofife Noah. He gets the ball. He crashes in. He spins around and he tries to reach out and slam the ball down. And the ball just lets his fingertips as he puts the ball down. He gets up. The referee's reviewing the TMO. I can tell on his face, he's just like, nah, I didn't get it. No, didn't get it. But the TMO still went for a check. No try. However, there was penalty against the Wallabies offside again. 3 repeated penalties. And even the commentators were like, probably someone going to go to the bin here. But no bin. France probably could have kept on attacking and tried to milk a yellow card here. But France all right, enough is enough. We're getting tired too. Kick for 3 points. So when it comes to decision making here, the French probably could have done another scrum here instead of 5 meter scrum and try to win for attack again. Especially when the Wallabies are on the ropes for potentially a penalty try or a yellow card. And you've already taken a quick tap that has yielded great results for you. So you should have taken taken another chance to attack here. But France opted for 3. It was too close, too easy to not take the 3, I guess. Too tempting, so they take the 3. Kind of relieve the pressure a little bit for the Wallabies at the 62 minutes into the game, right? Yeah, so at 66th minute, the Wallabies had another opportunity to attack. They had a penalty. They kicked the penalty out. They kicked the penalty out to go for a line out. The line out comes in for a more. And this was a really good opportunity for Wallabies to score. The more gets split in half. And, and then the back half, the ball gets pushed out. And they lost the opportunity there. The French kicked the ball out, right? Just outside their own 22. Wallabies throw. They lose their own line out again. So this was probably the second one, very important line out inside the French 22 that they lost. There was one earlier they lost as well, where the throw in just gets like taken over by the French second rower. Wilkie, he's just absolute spectacular this game. Breakdown lineouts, absolute incredibly good this game for Wilkie. He's absolutely one of the best players in the French team, and he's only he's barely starting his career, I think. At 66 minutes, so yeah, that was pretty bad. On the 70th minute, finally the Wallaby were able to get their second try. There was a nice bit of attacking in around the 50-meter mark for the Wallabies. Matt Turma gets the ball. He drifts out. No, this was Lolosio. He drifts out wide and he throws an inside ball for Tom Banks running up at full speed. So Banks cracks through the center field with a big gap opened up. He ran up. He offloads the ball to Callaway. Callaway runs up. As he's getting tackled, he throws the ball back to Hooper. One of the French players taps the ball kind of back into his own half. So towards his own try line. Hooper runs up, catches the ball, runs in, plants the ball down for the Wallabies' second try. That was really, really beautiful run. Beautiful set play by, beautiful inside ball by Lolosio to Pom Banks. And Wallabies were able to get themselves second try on the ball. And this kick closed up the gap to just 2 points. 23 points to 25 for the Wallabies. And this was a really huge effort by Michael Hooper. He putting a lot of effort to get himself there to score this try. This was he got a try last week as well. So this is the second try he scored in this test series. And yeah, you would expect the winger to be there, but Hooper was just a super big effort to get himself in the position there. Then on the 73rd minute, there was a penalty for offside against the French team. And 40 meters out, there was, so Wallabies were everybody in the stands were cheering their head off. Wallabies goes for a kick. Lolosio took his time, slots this one calmly, 26-25, Wallabies leading by 1. And this is the 73rd minute. So there was still quite a bit of time to go. Wallaby has to hold on with the 1 point. And wasn't to be. 76th minute. And this is one of the this was really painful. So on the 73rd minute, the player that got penalized was Demba Bamba, who got the reserve prop that came on the field this week, who was started last week. He came on the field. So 76th minute, there was a scrum, center field, around 35 meters out from the Wallabies side. So it's inside the Wallabies half, 35 meters out. There was a Wallaby fee scrum. Wallaby fee. France put the hammer down. Destroy the Wallaby scrum. Full on penalty. French goes, thank you very much. We'll take the 3. Jaminek slots the ball at 77th minute. And after the kickoff, Wallaby has one last chance to kind of score with about 3 minutes left on the clock. Wallabies were attacking. Got inside the French half. Inside the 22 again. Looking really well. Probably you think he probably could set up for a drop goal if the France team are really disciplined, not giving away penalties. You think maybe they will just go for a drop goal? Turnover the breakdown. And it's Bamba. No, it's Wilkie, I think. Yeah, it was Wilkie. Once again, his players coming in, pat him on the head, give him a little headbutt on the ground. That was, really bad for the Wallabies. And this time, when this was done, this was on the 79th minute. The clock is ticking over to the red. And so the France has about 30 seconds to play with a penalty. This time, unlike last week, they have a penalty, right? And this was inside their own 22. You figure that they will kick it out for a line out? French has learned their lesson. They did not go for the line out from inside their own 22. They took a tap and ran the ball. Okay, and you're like, okay, the Wallabies contended over. And this is kicking range still. No, they learned the lesson. They did one phase, Really slow ball. Ball comes out. The kicker this time was way back, almost inside the France, inside their own try zone. The halfback passes the ball to the fullback, who gets the ball, kicks it out. Finally, history was made. 31 years, France beats the Wallabies 28-26 in Australia. Yeah, Dave Rennie will not be happy. I am not happy with that performance. The breakdown errors was extraordinarily bad this week. Lineouts were really poor. Scrums was struggling. Nothing's working well. I expect that next week there will be big reshuffling in the team for the Wallabies. Hopefully they don't just put on... Yeah, I hope they don't just throw the series away and put on a bunch of second team to get them experience. I really thought Dave Rennie should have shuffled up the team a little bit this week, because the French did, and their shuffling really addressed the scrum issues the French were having last week, and really addressed the defensive issue that the French were having last week as well. The penalty count that the French were giving out really fixed that up a lot. So, yeah. I don't know. The French coach, what's his name? Gautier. He is... I don't know what he said to the French team. Massive turnaround. Historic win for the French. Anyway, guys, I'm really disappointed. I'm going to go out for a run and vent some energy. A little bit sad about this result. And thank you for watching.